Hey guys, Peculiar here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how I created this winter top. This top is super easy, beginner friendly, and it's a very easy tutorial to follow. If you have any questions regarding this top, you can always comment down below, or you could always DM me on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to answer you. I'm going to be posting more wintry and more Christmassy videos for you guys. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also turn on post notifications so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. Now let's get started. So the materials I'm going to be using for this project are I'm going to be using this tape measure to measure your body. If you want to alter the size or if you want to make it for someone else, you're going to need a tape measure. I'm also going to be using a pair of scissors and two different types of yarn. This one is a fluffy yarn. I got this one from Walmart. It's called Fantastic by Love, and that's what we're going to be using for the top part of the crop top. And then I'm also going to be using this yarn, which is the main yarn I'm going to be using. I used about 2 skeins of this. I'm not sure how many yards this is, but I used about 2 skeins, and it's a size 3 yarn. And the crochet hook I'm going to be using is a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. I'm going to be using the 3.5 because it's what corresponds to the yarn. So if you want to use a different size of yarn or crochet hook, just make sure that both of them correspond. Now let's get started. So before we start, you're going to take your tape measure and you're going to measure from the top of your boobs to your belly button. And this is going to be the length of your top. If you want your top to be smaller, you could always reduce the amount of chains you make. If you want it to be bigger, you could always increase and add more chains. But I'm going to make mine from the top of my boob to my belly button. So I'm gonna take your yarn and your crochet hook and make a slip knot. And I'm going to make that amount of chains. When I make it, it's gonna be about 50 chains. So I'm going to make 50 chains. So I made 50 chains, and now I'm just gonna chain 1 for turning. So after you've made the chains that is suitable for you, you're going to chain 1 for turning, and then we're going to insert a half double crochet into the second stitch from the hook. So yarn over, and in the second stitch from the hook, you're going to insert a half double crochet. And you're going to insert a half double crochet into every single chain for this row. So right here, I have placed a half double crochet into every single chain for that first row. So I'm going to chain 1 and then turn. And in this first stitch right here, I'm going to place my first half double crochet. So I'm going to place a half double crochet into that stitch. So I'll place it. And then I'm going to place a half double crochet into every single stitch, but in the back loops only. So there are 2 loops. This is the back loop, and then this is the front loop. So I'm only going to be placing my half double crochets in the back loops. So from here, you're gonna place that half double crochet in the back loop, and so on. You're gonna place all your half double crochets in the back loops only. And it should give you that ribbing effect. And you're gonna do that all the way until you get to the last stitch. When you get to the last stitch, you're gonna include in the both loops. So I included half double crochets into every single stitch, but in the back loops only. And now I have my last stitch, and I'm going to include that half double crochet into both loops for the last stitch. So I'm going to chain one, and I'm done with my second row, and I'm going to chain one and turn my work, and I'm going to insert the first half double crochet into both loops of that first stitch. Then I'm going to include my half double crochet in the back loops only as I go on. So I'm gonna keep doing this all the way till I get to the last stitch. And in the last stitch, you always include in both loops. So always include that half double crochet in both loops. And then I'm just gonna keep chaining one and doing the exact same thing till I have the desired width that I want. So right now, this is what I have for the width of my top. And I put it against my body, and it wraps around, but it doesn't fully touch. So there's this gap in between like this. So this is what it looks like. So there's gonna be like a crisscross. So right now I finished that, and I just want to make the holes for where I'm gonna place the straps. So right now, I'm gonna use my tape to measure this, and the length is about 9 inches long, and the width is about 20.5 inches long. And right now we're just gonna start making the holes for the top. So in order to make the holes from where you stopped, you're gonna chain one, turn your work, and then place 3 half double crochets in both loops. So 1, 2, and then 3 in both loops. And then you're going to chain 2, so 1, 2, and then you skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and make a half double crochet in that next stitch. So skip 2, and in that next stitch place a half double crochet. And then you're going to do 3 more, so making that 4 in total. So you've done 1, 2, 3, 4 half double crochets, and then you chain 2, skip 2, and then place 4 more half double crochets. So 1 half double crochet, 2, 3, and then 4. Then chain 2, skip 2, and then in that next one you're gonna place 4 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're just going to repeat this whole sequence. You're going to repeat it till you get, sorry. You're going to repeat that till you get to the last stitch. So I finished making all my holes for the straps, and now I'm just going to chain 1, turn, and then I am just going to place a single crochet into every stitch. So right here, you're going to place 1 single crochet, 2, 3, that third stitch, and then in this hole you're going to place 2 single crochets because we chained 2 and we skipped 2 stitches. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet, and then you keep placing single crochet into every single stitch, and in the hole you place 2 single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in every single stitch, and then that's how you're gonna keep going till you get to the end of the row. So I finished making the holes for one side of the top, and I have to do the exact same thing for this other side, but I don't want to cut off the yarn and reattach. So instead, I'm just gonna insert single crochets throughout the borders on the top of the top. So like, I'm gonna insert single crochet on the borders over here, so that when I get here, I just keep going with the flow, so I don't have to reattach. So I'm going to insert my hook, and then from there just gonna place a single crochet into like every hole, so I'm gonna do this all the way till I get to here. So I made single crochets around the borders. So right now I'm at the end and I want to make my holes on the other side. So like we did before, we're just going to insert into that first stitch, make a half double crochet in that first stitch, make another half double crochet and make the third one, and then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and in that next stitch you're going to place a half double crochet. So then make 4 half double crochets in total. 4, then chain 2, skip 2, then 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then chain 2, keep skipping, and then you do the exact same thing until you reach the last stitch. So I have finished making the holes. Now just chain one to my work and then place a single crochet into every single stitch, and then place 2 in the holes and then place into every single stitch. So it's just the exact same thing we did in the first one. I'm gonna complete this and I'm gonna meet you guys when I'm all done. So I finished with the portion of my top, and now I want to introduce the fluffy yarn. So I cut this yarn off because I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to chain 2 and then fasten off because I don't need it anymore. So right now what I'm going to be doing is going to introduce the fluffy yarn, and then I'm going to attach it. So I'm going to place my hook through and then wrap my yarn over my hook and then pull it through. So what I'm gonna do now is to place a single crochet into every single stitch. So in that first stitch, I'm going to place my first single crochet with the fluffy yarn. I'm going to place my next single crochet, my third, and I'm gonna keep going till I get to this last stitch. So I've done my single crochet all around and it's looking super good. So right now I just want to chain 2 and then fasten off, or chain 1, it doesn't even matter. So chain 1, fasten off, and then I'm just gonna try to hide this inside. Find a way to like hide the loose yarn. So I sewn in my loose ends for the yarn, and I'm just gonna do the exact same. I'm going to cut off all my loose ends and sew them in, and I'm gonna come back when I'm done. So I have cut off all my loose ends and everything. This is what the front looks like, clean. This is the back, this is the inside, the part that's not gonna be showing. So yeah, the last step is the straps, and for the straps I've decided to use some of my 40 yarn, but if you don't want to use the yarn, you could always make a very long chain of 200 or more or less, and place it into these holes. So I'm gonna use my long strap And I'm gonna I think I'm gonna cut it up to 60 inches, the size of my tape measure. So I'm gonna cut it all up until it's 60 inches. I hope that's enough. But then, yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using for the straps. So I'm gonna cut that off. And then what you wanna do is go ahead and start placing the strap into those holes. So place it into the first hole. Then I'm just gonna skip this hole because it's not really needed. And I'm gonna make a cross and place it in the next one. Then I'm gonna place this one into here. Then I'm gonna place the next one in here. And it's just gonna look like a corset. And that's what I'm gonna be doing till I'm all done with the straps. So this is what the top looks like when it's all done. You could decide to add straps as well. You could chain any amount of chains you want and then add straps so they have straps, or you could also rock it as a tube top, whichever one you decide. They all work fine, they all look great. And yeah, this is basically the finished product of the top, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be posting a lot of, not a lot, but I'll be posting more Christmassy, wintry content like this, so stay tuned. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow my social media, my Instagram. It'll be on the screen or it'll be in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.